Friends, even after the passage of 75 years of independence, more than 78, the caste system has been a source of inequality where it regulates the distribution of material opportunity, like the chances in the life. It is also a source of enduring inequality, and this system is the primary responsible system where it restricts people going into the political mobilization is being restricted, and this caste politics is now far more disaggregated, complex, and uncertain than it used to be. Even a small upper caste elite, that caste continues to be form the community, offering a sense of kinship, belonging, and identity. This caste within our society, occupations were hereditary, and an individual's birth into the particular caste determined his occupation forever. But when the rigidity of the caste system broke down, occupational changes were also marked. We see the effects of the social religious affairs, and thus they enjoyed supremacy over the others. But due to the process of secularization and westernization, the authority of the Brahmins gradually declined, and they enjoyed the westernization. The authority of the Brahmins gradually declined with traditional respect and honor to the society. 39% of the upper caste borrowed from a bank or a credit society, while 18% of the Dalit household did so. Did so. There is a very different financial access. Educational outcomes of the children in India, only 50% Dalits and Adivasi children can read a simple paragraph compared to 61% class children and 69% Brahmin children. Only 50%. Data differs from region to region also, but there has been increase in the number of intercaste marriages. But the intercaste marriage within the upper class, Brahmins, Baniya, Rajput, may be more likely low than before. But marriages between an upper caste and a backward or scheduled caste person remain rare even today. In September 2020, we saw a Dalit girl in Hathras district of Uttar Pradesh was allegedly murdered by four men from Thakur case. So there are still instances of caste-based violence in many parts of India, which are often a result of distorted notion of the privileges. In many industrial cases also, there are small businesses, they are still continue to recruit persons from the same or related caste. So industrial nepotism, political nepotism, judicial nepotism we have talked about earlier also. Like they are they are leaving no space for the disprivileged section. It is not only, for example, in the caste as a mechanism, it's also regulating material opportunities. It was 1932 when Dr. Ambedkar sat with the government of that time in the Pune Pact, and that again got codified into the 1935 Act, and they sat together to provide the antidote for the caste discrimination rather than the remedy for the backwardness. And in the post-independence India, this remedy process have been very slow. In principle, they abolished, but in reality, what they do, the same person in the chair of the prime in the political sphere talks something very good, but when he go, and we have the evidence, the videos in the internet also, and we can see we should not be blind. We should be vocal for ourselves, for our society, for our time. And we see, in principle, they make distance, principal distance only in the books. But when in the classrooms, when the students are being designed, they continue to give their values that yes, caste system is okay, one system should be there, and we as a kid don't protest. So when we see the society, I mean, they discuss the demerits, and we must not always be someone who always oppose all those things. But we are doing some comprehensive things that are also things. But when we see the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe or socially or educationally backward classes of the citizens, other backward classes, in the Article 15.4 and Article 15.4 Clause 5 and 6, there are quotas. For the OBC, it is 27%. For the STs, it is 7.5%. And for the SC, it is 15%. So this discussion also happens. But when we are in the classrooms, this discussion about the reservation goes like this is against the national efficiency. So is reservation still relevant? Absolutely yes. Into the public services, there have been the poll to 565 villages and 11 cities where 38% of the government schools, the condition is such bad that the children go to the schools only to have the food. And they also have that we see the videos, the data, they are made separate, they are made to sit separately. And it was the caste census of 2011 where infant mortality rate of a scheduled caste was 59.7%. I mean, the access to the health services speaks much louder. The data speaks much louder. Talking about the literacy rate, 72.99% was the normal literacy rate in India in 2011. But into the scheduled caste communities, it was only 61, 66%. So we see, yes, it is being argued that it is one of the major reasons for the collapsing of the merit system. But if that was the reason, that should not have been the quota for the economically weaker sections. So it is, I think, inspired from the American affirmative action policies and our circle, our globe, our group. These, though their views also affect ours. That yes, it is one of the problems where we have seen the member from the one or two students into the medical colleges have unable to finish their degree even after the 16 to 17 years. So this poor condition actually shows us the reality of system. How all the in all the medical colleges, when we talk practically to them, we find the professors are not engaging. The privileged students, they get access to the, I mean, there is a very high digital divide. The people from the this background and don't have access to the technology, they don't understand the technology. So what happens? And the system is so wrong, is so rotten that it takes, even after the passage of 20 years, they are unable to finish the degree, which is a 5-year program. And the caste politics is also uh, continuing, it is sustaining the system. Otherwise, once the leadership, the political leadership thought, think, sit and destroy all those things, because these are the historically wrongs, historically injustices, historical misunderstandings. And the data we see, and we must understand the politicians from the, I mean, for the power struggle, these required systems, I mean, they should be completely destroyed. They should be eliminated like the polio. And the teachers should act as the vaccines, but they are not acting like that. And the role of caste in the politics, where Mahatma Gandhi, Harijan Seva Sangh, historically, they provided government services to the backward caste people. So it also acts as a vital link between them. In Tamil Nadu, I mean, the South state, we must learn from the South state. Justice Party in Tamil Nadu, Scheduled Caste Federation in Maharashtra, and political rights of Dalit, where they resulted in reservation assemblies and education. The Atrocity Act. We must be constitutional moral if we are the citizens of any country. And if we are not abiding with the constitutional morals, then there is no meaning of the education and living into the time of this country, present. Caste-based pressure groups limit the identity of citizens to particular caste, which limit full participation of citizens of the government system. And after a case where the family victim of the rape belonging to a lower caste family, this all those things are done. The caste violence, the reservation, the Karni Sena protest against Padmavat, casteism, favoring one's own kith with kin rather than supporting people on merit, political class agreeing on demands under pressure, reservation for Marathas when they do not meet the criteria for socially education in the backward classes. I mean, the story of a caste as a form of cultural identity has been undertaken recently by a phenomenal rise of the Hindutva also, as passionate, aggressive, and almost pan-Indian form of identity-based mobilization. And this form of Hindutva would be expected to be neutral enemy of the lower caste politics because of the inevitable tensions between the horizontal Hindu society and vertical caste hierarchy. But it doesn't work. Even there are constitutional initiative under Article 14, Article 15, Article 16, Article 17, Article 18, Article 330, Article 330, where there are provisions related to the seats of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the House of the People. And in Article 338, that talks about the formation of National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes, and there should be a special officer for this scheduled caste and scheduled tribes to be appointed by the president. And due to historical injustice and neglect, the Indian Constitution has ensured reservation in education and in employment opportunities for the discriminated sections. So, for the social empowerment, we see education as the most effective instrument for the social economic empowerment for the disadvantaged groups. But the platforms that are suited, that are available to these groups, doesn't actually provide the quality educations. It is not only a coincidence. It could not be a incidence. I mean, there have been a lot of positive cases also. In 2013, there were a ban on manual sponging, where there were ban on discharging employees who were engaged in the practice of communal, contractual and regular basis. In 1989, there was the Prevention of Atrocity Act, where the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Prevention of Atrocity Act, that is the complete name. And we see after that, the Parliament of India enacted to prohibit discrimination, prevent atrocities and hate crimes against scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. In 1955, there were protection of civil rights. But in the pursuance of Article 17 of the Constitution of India, the Untouchability Offences Act 1955 was enacted subsequently. It was amended and renamed in the year 1976 was the year, yes, where the Parliament amended the Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955, and the Act extended the whole of India and provide punishment for the practice of untouchability. Dr. Ambedkar scheme for the intercaste marriages also act as the main objective of the scheme for the appreciating the socially bold state of the intercaste marriages. In education, the pre-metric scholarships, the scholarship for obtaining higher education and coaching schemes, and free coaching for scheduled caste and scheduled OBC students, and National Scheduled Caste Finance and Development Corporation (NFDC), where it provide loans, skill training, entrepreneurship development programs, providing marketing support through state channelizing agencies and public sector banks and other institutions. The objective of the Credit Enforcement Guarantee Fund was to promote the entrepreneurship among the scheduled caste and for providing credit enhancement. The National Safai Karmachari Finance and Development Corporation Finance was another corporation under the Ministry which provide credit facility to benefit among Safai Karmacharis and manual scavengers for their demands of the income generating activities for socio-economic development. I mean, we need to be aware to cultivate social awareness and educate people over the futility of maintaining a caste system and discriminate against other based on the birth. As Dr. Ambedkar also had suggested intermarriages and interdining to merge any social identity and to create a casteless society. More unifying identities must be promoted, like that of the language and nation, to get rid of the identities of poor caste and lower caste. So these are some of the issues we need to be aware about for continuously. And for sake, we need to understand we can only be the change we what we want to see in others, and by being the change, we are driving a step into that direction. And we must understand that. But those forces are always active, not very straightly, but silently. Yes. So you must understand. I must understand.